Before his presidency, most Americans knew Donald Trump for his real estate empire, right? But now a judge says it was built while defrauding banks and insurers. The ruling comes from Judge Arthur Engoron in a civil lawsuit brought by New York Attorney General Letitia James. Engoron found that Trump and his company massively overvalued his assets and exaggerated his net worth on paper to deceive banks and insurers and gain favorable deals. James's lawsuit still has 6 other unresolved claims against the former president. It seeks to fine Trump $250 million in penalties and to ban him from doing business in New York. Now, to dig into this lawsuit a little more, let's bring in Luis Shapiro, a criminal law attorney based in Los Angeles. Thank you so much for being here and giving us some insight on all of this. Let's jump right into the fraud ruling. How big of a win is this for the New York AG's case so far?
It certainly gives them the confidence and credibility that she had up until now, saying, I'm going to bring a case against former President Trump. I'm going to show that there's fraud. I'm going to show that he inflated the value of his business assets. And here's the judge basically handing her that victory in terms of, you are right. Now, the separate question is, how much money, how much fines and penalties is the Trump organization realistically looking at? That's another question in the case.
So, Lou, what impact does the ruling have on his ability to do business now in New York? Does all of that come to a halt until this is settled? And does this impact any of his businesses outside of the state?
So it's a New York state ruling, so it limits his ability to conduct business within the state of New York. He is going to be appealing this. So right now, while it definitely tangles up business matters that he has pending in New York State, because he will be appealing this, he's asking, he already tweeted, that a court of appeal step in and do the right thing and reverse this. Some of the arguments that he's going to be bringing is that he has his own experts that will come and testify that the assets that he listed at certain prices or valuations are in fact legitimate. A lot of people are taking the judge's ruling to task, saying that he undervaluated Trump's asset, particularly his Mar-a-Lago property. So this all has to shake out, and it will over the next few months.
You know, Trump argued that a disclaimer on his financial statements basically absolves him from any wrongdoing. Can you tell us a little more about his stance and how that may or may not hold up in court?
So a disclaimer can always run in different ways. It depends how much value is given to it by a judge. Some judges may just look at it as, oh, that's small fine print that you wouldn't expect it to read. Others may say, no, that should be taken at face value. There's a reason why it's there. In this case, the judge is saying, don't give me this disclaimer stuff. Everybody knows, nobody reads it. I'm not putting much weight on it.
Yeah, if you will, you know, there's more piling up against Trump. Can you brief us on the 6 other claims that New York AG Letitia James has against Trump, and which ones you think she has a strong case?
Well, look, all her remaining claims have to do with Trump having conducted business in New York State in unlawful or fraudulent ways, whether it's lying on paperwork, lying on loan applications, misleading tax investigators, everything that relates to everything that relates to financial crimes. And in this situation, this would be probably the strongest claim because, you know, valuations, you can take somebody, an expert, and say, this is what I'm putting a value on this property. And if it doesn't match up to what was put on that loan application, then there you have it. There is the alleged fraud. And that's why this is becoming front and center in the overall case.
Yeah, the former president is days away from starting a non-jury trial in this case. He has called this latest ruling un-American and says it's a plot to damage his reputation, his 2024 campaign. His lawyers have promised to appeal, as you just noted, but give us the timeline. How long could all of this take?
Oh, this could take several months because if they file an appeal now and the Court of Appeal decides to take it up, there are several months of legal briefing, written briefs that are filed on each side, and then it can be scheduled for oral argument at that point. So we're easily 6 to 12 months away from any kind of closure. The fact is, though, because this ruling went this way, if you take it into the political scene, this could be somewhat damaging against Trump in an election campaign. But as we've seen by criminal indictments, realistically, they don't seem to be having that much of an effect on him, given where he is in the polls right now.
Lou, thank you so much for shedding light on this. Criminal law attorney Lou Shapiro, thank you for your time.